The global corn market is undergoing a dramatic transformation, one that is sending shockwaves through the world's food supply chains and international trade networks. For generations, the United States held the crown as the world's top corn exporter. But now, that long-standing dominance is slipping away at a pace few could have predicted. American corn once fed millions across continents and powered global industries, but the era of U.S. agricultural supremacy is rapidly fading into history. 7 of the world's largest corn importers, including economic giants like China, Japan, and Mexico, are now actively seeking alternatives, moving away from their traditional reliance on U.S. suppliers. This isn't just a temporary dip or a minor market fluctuation, it's a decisive long-term shift, fueled by growing concerns over the reliability and predictability of American exports. Years of political gridlock, trade disputes, and unpredictable supply disruptions have left these nations weary and searching for more stable partners to secure their food futures. In this climate of uncertainty, Canada has emerged as the new safe harbor, offering not just high-quality corn, but also a reputation for reliability, transparency, and consistent delivery. Countries such as Germany, South Korea, India, the UK, and Chile are all pivoting to Canadian corn, eager to de-risk their food supply chains and ensure steady access to this vital crop. The message from the global marketplace is unmistakable. Today, trust, stability, and partnership matter just as much as the quality of the crop itself. The era of unquestioned American agricultural supremacy is over, and as the world looks for new leaders, Canada is stepping up to fill the void, reshaping the future of the global corn market. The decline in U.S. corn exports is rooted in political instability and unpredictable trade policies. Importers faced sudden tariffs, exemptions, and threats of retaliation, making long-term planning impossible. Mexico, for example, saw its corn supply used as leverage in political disputes, threatening food security. Buyers grew tired of these disruptions and sought partners who treated trade as business, not politics. Quality issues also emerged. Japan reported inconsistent moisture and protein levels in U.S. corn, undermining trust. These problems signaled a broader decline in American reliability. The combination of erratic policies and slipping quality created a perfect storm of discontent. Importers weren't just chasing lower prices, they wanted dependable partners. Canada, with its focus on stability and quality, became the obvious alternative. The shift north is a direct response to the chaos and risk of dealing with the U.S. Canada's rise is built on stability, transparency, and cutting-edge technology. Canadian exporters offer multi-year contracts, locking in prices and schedules for buyers. The message: zero politics, just business. Canada's logistics chain uses blockchain tracking, giving buyers real-time traceability from farm to port. Shipments clear customs up to 34% faster than U.S. corn, reducing costs and spoilage risk. Investments in digital compliance, modern rail, and expanded storage have made Canada's system efficient and resilient. Even new trade routes like those through the Arctic help bypass bottlenecks. These advances aren't accidental. They're the result of a national strategy to be the world's most reliable supplier. For nations tired of uncertainty, Canada's blend of technology and trust is irresistible. The country's commitment to innovation and stability is redefining the global corn market. Canada's corn exports are surging, with 2025 projections at 2.25 million metric tons, a 3.7% increase year over year. Analysts expect steady growth through 2028, signaling a long-term trend, not a temporary spike. Nearly 1,000 shipments have already gone out in 2025, supported by a vast network of exporters and buyers. Prices remain stable, making Canadian corn attractive for importers seeking both value and reliability. Ontario leads production, accounting for over 60% of the national crop, enabling efficient harvesting and transport. Total exports for the 2024-25 crop year have reached nearly 2.7 million metric tons, underscoring Canada's growing capacity. These numbers reflect a deliberate strategy to capture market share from the U.S. Canada is no longer a backup supplier. It's a rising power in global agriculture. China and Mexico's recent pivot to Canadian corn is more than a simple trade reroute. It's a calculated response to a rapidly changing global landscape. Their moves reveal the strategic logic behind a broader shift in international supply chains, as countries seek to secure their food sources and reduce exposure to unpredictable partners. For China, food security and reducing geopolitical risk are paramount. With a population of over 1.4 billion, ensuring a steady supply of staple crops like corn is a matter of national security. Recent tensions and trade disputes have only heightened Beijing's determination to diversify its sources and avoid over-reliance on any single country. A landmark deal now secures China 5.7 million tons of Canadian corn annually, along with joint research and infrastructure projects that promise to deepen agricultural ties. This agreement not only guarantees supply but also fosters innovation and knowledge exchange between the two nations. This partnership is about more than corn. It's about insulating China from U.S. trade volatility and building a more resilient food system. By bypassing traditional routes, China is actively reducing its vulnerability to sudden policy shifts or export restrictions from the U.S.-Mexico's pivot, meanwhile, is driven by the urgent need for uninterrupted supply. Political disruptions and border closures with the U.S. have threatened its food system, putting pressure on both producers and consumers. Switching to Canada was a practical decision to keep factories running and supermarket shelves stocked. For Mexico, the move is less about long-term strategy and more about immediate survival and stability for its people. China's move is a long-term geopolitical play, positioning itself for future uncertainties. Mexico's is a response to daily operational headaches and the need to avoid disruptions that could ripple through its economy. Both nations, despite their different motivations, have concluded that Canada offers the reliability and consistency they need in a turbulent world. Whether for long-term strategy or short-term survival, the shift away from U.S. corn is increasingly seen as the logical and necessary choice for both countries. In the end, Canada's promise of stability and dependable supply is winning over both global giants and regional neighbors, reshaping the future of agricultural trade. Japan and South Korea's switch to Canadian corn highlights the demand for quality and efficiency. Japan, frustrated by inconsistent U.S. corn, increased Canadian imports by 60% and signed exclusive 10-year deals. These agreements include joint quality controls and shared crop data, reflecting deep trust in Canada's precision. For Japan, reliability isn't optional, it's essential. South Korea, a tech-driven economy, was fed up with U.S. logistical delays, including a notorious 3-week holdup over a barcode error. Canada's blockchain tracking and rapid customs clearance offered the seamless experience South Korea demanded. The decision was about more than corn. It was about the entire delivery ecosystem. Canada's technological edge eliminated bottlenecks and uncertainty. For both countries, Canada's system aligned perfectly with their standards and expectations. Precision and efficiency made Canada the new preferred partner. These global shifts have hit American farmers hard. With major buyers gone, U.S. corn surpluses have soared, driving prices down and squeezing farm incomes. Costs for fertilizer, seeds, and fuel remain high, leaving many farmers losing money on every acre. Over 250 farms filed for bankruptcy in a single year, each one a family legacy lost. The psychological toll is immense, as rural communities face mounting despair. Farmers are paying the price for trade policies and instability beyond their control. Their high-quality crops can't overcome the damage done by lost trust in U.S. exports. The crisis is a direct result of America's credibility problem in global markets. Overflowing silos and empty bank accounts are the new reality for many. The contrast between U.S. and Canadian export systems is stark. The U.S. still relies on paperwork and outdated processes, leading to errors, delays, and frustration for buyers. A single barcode error once delayed a shipment to South Korea by 3 weeks. Just one example of systemic inefficiency. Canada, by contrast, uses blockchain to track every shipment in real time, creating transparency and trust. Customs clearance for Canadian corn can take as little as 48 hours, a 34% improvement over U.S. averages. This digital efficiency reduces costs, spoilage, and inventory headaches for importers. Canada's investment in technology is a direct investment in customer satisfaction. The result, a seamless, reliable supply chain that global buyers now prefer. The U.S. system, stuck in the past, is losing ground fast. In global trade, digital leadership is now non-negotiable. The exodus of key buyers is a wake-up call for the U.S. Agricultural dominance is no longer guaranteed. The once unshakable confidence in American corn has been eroded by inconsistent policies and trade disputes. This shift has left a void that competitors are eager to fill, making it imperative for the U.S. to act swiftly and decisively. The core challenge is to restore trust and credibility in American exports. This involves not just words but concrete actions that demonstrate a commitment to quality and reliability. This means ending the use of trade as a political weapon and committing to long-term stability. Policies must be consistent and predictable, ensuring that international partners feel secure in their dealings with American exporters. The U.S. must modernize its export infrastructure, investing in digital platforms and transparent systems. These upgrades will not only streamline operations but also provide real-time data to buyers, enhancing trust through transparency. Without these changes, lost customers will remain wary and unlikely to return. The global market is competitive, and other countries are ready to step in and offer what the U.S. once did. The future of U.S. corn exports depends on action, not promises. Farmers, exporters, and policymakers must work together to rebuild the reputation that has been tarnished. Rebuilding trust will require a national effort, prioritizing reliability over short-term politics. It's a collective responsibility that spans from the fields to the highest levels of government. The world is watching to see if America can once again be the safest bet. The stakes are high, and the opportunity to lead is within reach if the right steps are taken. Only by proving its commitment to stability and modernization can the U.S. hope to reclaim its role. The path forward is clear, but it requires dedication and a unified approach. The next chapter in global agriculture will be written by those who earn, not demand, trust. The U.S. has the potential to lead, but it must first rebuild the foundation of trust that the world relies on.